The night felt wrong. Not loud, not chaotic, just wrong. The kind of silence that creeps into your bones and makes you double-check if you lock the door. Out in the distance, somewhere deep in the Ukrainian countryside, a single house glowed under a weak bulb. Inside, a family sat together, unaware that their last normal moment was already slipping away. Because somewhere out there, he was already watching. Anatoly Onoprienko wasn't your typical criminal. Nah, this guy wasn't some loud gangster or reckless thug. He was colder than that. Calculated, patient, like a predator that doesn't rush the hunt. Born into hardship, orphaned young, bounced through institutions where survival meant shutting off your emotions. Something inside him didn't just break, it disappeared. And what replaced it? That's what the world would later fear. He didn't start big. No villain ever does. At first it was small-time stuff. Petty thefts, hustling, trying to get by. But over time, something shifted. Money wasn't enough. Survival wasn't enough. The dude wanted control, total control. And once he tasted that power, there was no going back. It started quietly. A robbery gone too far. A house in the middle of nowhere. He'd wait, sometimes for hours, watching routines, learning patterns. When the moment felt right, he'd move in. No hesitation, no second thoughts. Door breaks open. Shock hits first. Fear comes right after. But for him, it was just business. Except it wasn't. Because he didn't leave witnesses. Ever. Whole families. Gone. Parents, children, sometimes even infants. It didn't matter. If you were there, you were part of the scene. That's how cold he was. No lines, no limits. And then, just like that, he'd vanish. No fingerprints that led anywhere. No clear pattern. One week he's hitting a home in one region, next week he's hundreds of kilometers away doing the same thing again. It was like chasing a ghost with a body count. People started changing. Villages that once felt safe turned paranoid. Lights stayed on all night. Neighbors checked on each other more often. Parents stopped letting kids wander. Every knock on the door felt like a threat. And the cops? Man, they were stuck playing catch-up in a country that was already dealing with chaos. The Soviet Union had collapsed. Systems were weak. Communication wasn't tight. Perfect conditions for someone like him to operate. But here's what made it even darker. He wasn't doing it just to rob people. Money was just an excuse. The real thing? Power. He liked the control. Walking into someone's life and deciding, right there, whether it continued or ended. That kind of mindset, it ain't normal. It's something deeper, something broken beyond repair. Witnesses who survived by pure luck described him the same way. Calm, emotionless, almost mechanical. Like he wasn't even human in that moment. No rage, no panic, just execution. That's why people later called him the Terminator. Not because of strength, but because of how empty he seemed inside. Still, no one gets away forever. Even the smartest predators slip. One night, something didn't go according to plan. Maybe he rushed. Maybe he underestimated something. But for the first time, he left behind a thread. A tiny mistake, but enough. Investigators caught on to it. A vehicle description, a connection between locations. It wasn't much, but it was something. And once they had that, they didn't let go. Piece by piece, the puzzle started forming. And then, it hit. They found him. No dramatic chase, no last stand, just a quiet arrest. The kind that almost feels unreal considering everything behind it. But the real shock came after. When he started talking, no denial, no drama. He confessed, calmly, like he was listing errands, one crime after another. Houses, families, locations. The numbers kept rising, and with each confession, the room got heavier. Investigators, guys who had seen everything, were shaken. Because this wasn't just murder. This was systematic destruction of lives. Dozens of victims, entire families erased, homes turned into silent reminders of what happened inside. And the scariest part? There was no clear reason that made sense. No revenge story, no single trigger. Just a man who decided to take control in the darkest way possible and kept going. After his capture, the fear didn't just disappear overnight. The damage was already done. Communities were left scarred. Houses stood empty. Stories lingered. People still remembered the nights when every sound felt like danger, when sleep didn't come easy, when trust in the world itself felt broken. And him, locked away, no longer free to roam. But the shadow he cast? Yeah, that stayed. Because cases like this don't just fade. They stick. They become warnings, Remy.